RoboCop Rogue City. Is it good? Yeah. In RoboCop, you play as Alex Murphy, also known as RoboCop. If you've seen the films, you'll know the backstory of how Alex Murphy became the titular character. While you don't have to have seen the films, there is lots of references and characters that show up that fans of the franchise will recognise. This game feels like it was released in the mid-2000s, with its graphical style, gameplay and level design. This isn't a bad thing. Some of my favourite games were released in the mid-2000s. This game is a first-person shooter and the controls are great. The sensitivity is quite low on default, but I love this because it felt like you were actually turning RoboCop. But if it's too low for you, then you can change it in the settings. You've got your pistol, which can be upgraded as you play through the game, but you can also pick up a huge range of weapons by looting enemies or finding them hidden away. They were all fun to use, but by the time I was halfway through the game, my pistol was a fully automatic explosive weapon with unlimited ammo that never needed to be reloaded, so I didn't really pick up many weapons after it was upgraded. Shooting enemies is very satisfying as this game is very gory, and when you shoot them, the enemies will be blown to bits. There's also quite a lot of destructible environments that you can shoot enemies through, which was fun. The main missions were quite good for the most part, but some were epic. My personal favourite was when all the gangs of Detroit descended on the city and it was your job to go from crime to crime, stopping them all. The story was quite good, there was no shocking twists, and it was a little formulaic, but it was fine. While talking to characters, the game will sometimes give you dialogue options, which seem to change how the game ends. I've only played the game once, so I can't say how much it changes based on each dialogue choice. The voice acting was great, even the original RoboCop actor reprised his role for the game and did an amazing job. My only issue with the voice acting in this game is it felt like there was only ever 2 voice actors for each gang, so you were constantly hearing the same lines delivered by the same people. Most of the main missions had lots of side quests. These side quests could sound a little bit boring, like one of them was simply resetting a fuse box, but the characters were always so likeable and provided so much backstory that I was always happy to help my fellow colleagues and citizens of Detroit. As you play through the game, you unlock skill points, which you can use to unlock different abilities which will change your playstyle. One of my favourites was one that would let you slow down time. I would activate it while an enemy was about to throw a grenade and then shoot it in their hands, thus making it explode, which was very satisfying. Another one of my favourites was the ability to see places where I could ricochet my bullets in order to hit enemies. This was great if an enemy was hiding behind cover. But there's just so many great upgrades and I couldn't possibly speak about them all. Also, when I rolled the credits, I still had quite a lot of skills to unlock. And that's despite the fact that I did every side activity and looked for every crime that was being committed during my playthrough. Once you finish the game, you can play on New Game Plus with all the skills that you've unlocked, and I'm guessing you'll probably be able to unlock all the skills after a second playthrough. The graphics for the most part are very good, but they do sometimes look a bit strange and can look more like a very good looking PS3 game rather than a PS5 game. The frame rate unfortunately takes a massive hit when you're fighting a lot of enemies or while you're fighting big robots, which was unfortunate as the game gives you the option of playing on performance mode or resolution. I played the whole game in performance mode and the frame rate would still drop really low in these instances. Now for the glitches. Unfortunately this game was very buggy. The very first thing I saw when loading into the game was a bug. The news anchor randomly spawned in out of nowhere and from there I knew what to expect. There was all sorts of glitches, from enemies clipping through walls to characters talking but their lips weren't moving. I saw a lot. But the worst for me was when you're fighting the final boss. They reveal who they are on a TV screen, but I couldn't see them as the TV screen was just blank. Luckily, I could hear them, so I knew who they were, but it was still annoying nonetheless. That was RoboCop Rogue City, and I give it a 7 out of 10.